with Mike Hernandez.
Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Growing Your Brains. It's me, your host, Mike Hernandez, and nobody else. Today we're going to install a fully configurable battery mount that we make here at TerraCycle. When you receive your mount, it's going to look something like this. The tools you'll need are a 3, 4, and a 5mm Allen key. And now for everybody's favorite thing to do, let's open up our bag of parts. The first part you see here is the frame clamp, which holds the mount to the trike. Next we have the vertical plate, which provides alignment for the shelf. And then here's the standard shelf, which does the actual carrying of the battery. And don't forget to hold on to your instructions in case you don't get YouTube on your internet machine. You also may have ordered an extender. This part provides extra clearance between the mount and the trike. The extender can be helpful for dodging chain or clearing anything that might be in the way of mounting. And then finally, we sell an adapter shelf that gives up to 48 square inches of mounting space with holes specifically drilled for several different types of rear rack batteries. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is figure out where we want to mount everything, right? So we need about 5/8 of an inch or about 16 millimeters of clearance. And so that means no bends, no welds, no intergalactic tubers or brazons, nothing that'll get in the way of a clean fit. We've chosen this spot here. So go ahead and take apart your clamp. Separate the arch from the clamp. Take out the bolts. Put the arch on one side. Put the clamp on the other side. Reinstall your bolts. And then tighten them down. And you don't want to do them too tight so that we can move things around when we go for the perfect fit. Okay, next thing we're going to do is bolt the vertical plate to the shelf. Loosen up the bolts on the shelf. Set them aside for a second. And then attach your vertical plate. And we're going to put the washers on the outside of the vertical plate. And we're going to keep the big washer reserved for the slot. Install your bolts, but don't tighten them down all the way so that we can move things around later.
So next what we're going to do is go ahead and hold the vertical plate up to the clamp bolts. We're going to try and position the shelf so it's about level, and we're going to keep in mind the shape and size of our battery. We went ahead and made a dummy battery here so that we can position it to avoid any frame or obstacles that are in the way of mounting. When we do think that we've got a good position and the shelf is about level and we see that we've hit the two bolts here, we're going to hold everything kind of tight together so that we can come here and screw down the bolts that attach the shelf into the vertical plate. So that's all solid as is.
Finally, take out the clamp bolts and attach your vertical plate to the frame clamp. And then from here on, you can fine-tune, adjust exactly where you want your battery to be so that it's level, it's clear from any obstructions. If you've got suspension, make sure that you bottom out your suspension and the battery is clear. Anything that might get in the way. And you're all set.
So now that we've got everything installed, let's go ahead and make sure it's level. The first thing to note is that the vertical plate has 16 holes, which means there's plenty of rotation ability around the clamp. There's also a slot at the bottom, which means you can fine-tune the level of the standard shelf. This can be done by loosening the bottom of the two bolts on the standard shelf. It's also worth noting there are 6 different holes along the back side of the standard shelf, which allow you to move the shelf forward and backward if you need to dodge anything. The vertical shelf itself can also be flipped to achieve more angles, and the entire mount can be taken from one side to the other. If you are on the drive side, we recommend you use the extender block, because this will help you dodge the chain or any other obstacles you encounter. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining us to install your fully configurable battery mount. You can see this and so much more at www.t-cycle.com. Thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed.